2 weeks ago.
It's about the cost of living crisis, or rather the problem is prices are going up for everyone because no one's doing anything to stop it. And people are getting billions and billions in profits and no one's doing anything to stop it.
İngilizler bugün buraya geçinemiyoruz diye haykırmak için toplandılar. Tam da Başbakanlık ofisinin konutunun tam karşısında. 1 Nisan'dan itibaren enerji faturalarına yıllık 700 sterlin fazladan meblağ yansıyacak. Ve biz bu maaşla bu meblağın altından nasıl kalkacağız onu sorguluyorlar.
Our mortgage is £1,600 a month. Our bills are around £400 a month, but they're going to be increasing. I pay £200 a month in commuting costs. We're cutting down on our food as much as we can. We've cut out, things like Netflix, everything like that. We're buying 30p. Shampoo and things like that, everything to lower as much as we can. We've also got our service charge to maintain the flat building that we live in. That's now gone up to £2,000 a year because they've recently increased it because of the building safety crisis. So we've got our rent, our bills, our council tax has gone up by 8% in London. And it's you can't keep up with it. And I'm a normal working person. I'm a civil servant. And I don't know.
You are working as a civil servant.
I'm a civil servant.
Do you mind if I ask your earnings? How much do you earn per month?
My salary is about £1,500 a month after all my deductions. It's not enough for living in this country, especially not enough for living in London. London is one of the most expensive cities on the planet to live in. You've got to, most of the time you're living quite far from work. So you've got a commuting cost as well. I can't afford petrol anymore. My car is just sitting because I can't afford to use it. I'm having to find the cheapest way I can possibly get to work. I partly walk to work or cycle to work because I can't afford the commuting costs anymore. I work in the care industry. I don't know how care homes are going to afford to heat their care homes. And elderly people need to be in a warm home of about 22 degrees. And care homes are not going to be able to afford to heat the home.
What is this costume about?
Because the government are shit. That's it. They're poo. They don't do anything for the working class person. You end up, you'll have more out of your wages, you're paying out more. How are we supposed to live like that? I bet Sunak and Johnson are eating tonight. I bet they don't have to worry about how much a light bulb costs or whether their child can play their PlayStation. They don't have to worry about that.
What is not just a cost of living crisis, but what's a cost of exploitation crisis, right? Of crises in capitalism in which working people are made to suffer for the ruling class's exploits.
What is this situation in the UK as a livelihood and what are the problems?
Well, energy bills are doubling, rent's set to double, and worst of all, you can't even afford to go to the pub and drown your sorrows with a pint. In the UK, it's becoming too expensive to exist, and people are choosing between heating and eating, and that's frankly disgusting.
Well, what I outlined was that there should be a cap on energy prices to help people through the fuel crisis immediately, an increase in benefits for those that are living in terrible poverty because of insufficiency of benefits, and also the question of wage levels, which have been falling in relative terms since 2010, and this has meant the rise in food banks and poverty across the whole country.
COVID has been an example of just how not to deal with a crisis when you hand billions over to the private sector and expect